You're listening to the #1 real estate podcast in the world, where we talk with real estate professionals all across the world about their wins, losses, lessons, stories, help you win in your local market today. My name is Cody from Sheridan Street. This is a single episode, and today I want to chat about a conversation I had with one of our clients, Mo. And Mo was struggling to get in-person meetings, and we walked through some things that I really want to encourage you if you're working with online leads, whether you're doing cold calling. These are some key things that as we were listening back to calls, we recognized that there was gaps in the sales process. And we were actually reviewing a call where he was speaking to someone who wanted to both buy and sell. And in the conversation, he was rushing through the conversation to get to the end, and he failed to ask for a meeting. And as we were reviewing this call, and I was asking him, like, what are some things that you think you did well, and what are some things that you think you could improve? He obviously had things he did well. He slowed down the call. He was able to do that, but then he sped up again. And there was three key things. There's three key things that I think any real estate agent, no matter where you're at in your business, can really benefit from. If you're doing online lead generation, if you're doing cold calling, if you're doing any form of dialing or talking on the phone, there are three things I want you to consider in order to increase your conversion. So I wrote this down today. And I actually wrote a post about it because we reviewed 2 live transfers. So the first thing we realized in the conversation that he was having with this prospect is he wasn't practicing intent listening. Intent listening is one of the most important things you can do in your real estate business when you're speaking with leads, when you're speaking to prospects, and when you're speaking to clients. Seeking to understand, getting to the point where you really understand on a deep level what it is that they mean. For example, this specific buyer was actually also a seller. So we had approached them with a buyer offer, but it actually had turned out that they were a seller, but we glanced over the fact that they were a seller because we were so focused on getting them set up on a property search that we didn't ask them any key questions about wanting to downsize. And this brings me to my second point, which is he didn't realize he wasn't digging deep enough and asking the right questions to open up the prospect. So what do I mean by this is when somebody tells you that they're looking to downsize, we call this chunking up and chunking down. So what this means is if you ask a simple question, when somebody says they're looking to downsize, you say, okay, permission-based question. Okay, Tom, if you don't mind me asking, why specifically are you looking to downsize? And what that does is it reduces resistance in the prospect, and it allows you to go just a little bit deeper to figure out why that is important. And he's going to give you more information, and you're going to stay around this topic. For example, the next thing that you could do is you could ask him questions about, does he have kids? Is he married? Where does his kids go to school? Is he downsizing because his kids have moved out of the house? Like, why is it so important that he downsizes? And it's so important that we ask the right questions and we ask better questions. The better questions we ask, the better conversations we have, and all conversion happens in conversation. And the last thing we recognized through reviewing this live transfer call was he failed to ask for the in-person meeting. At the end of the call, when he was asking his questions, the prospect said to him, the prospect on the phone said to him, like, I'm actually running into a meeting. Can you call me back later? Now, with a live transfer online lead call, how I taught him how to get an additional 20 seconds to book an in-person meeting. And every single conversation you have with a prospect or with a lead, the goal should be to book an in-person meeting. Because like my mentor Sharon says, you're 10 times more likely to get the client if you just get belly to belly, face to face with them, and you're able to provide value. You're able to explain to them the process of buying or selling real estate. A lot of people just have bad information. You're battling the media, you're battling Uncle Fred's bad information, where he's telling your prospects and your potential clients that they need 20% down when they don't actually. There's just a lot of bad information out there, and your job is to combat that bad information by having more belly-to-belly conversations. But in order to do that, you need to ask for more in-person meetings. And we chatted about saying, okay, Tom, totally understand. I don't want to keep you any longer. I just want to make sure we have all the right information in order to get you everything you're looking for. If you have about 20 to 30 more seconds, I just have one quick last question for you. And that will open it up, permission to have 20 to 30 more seconds of their time. If they say, cool, then you have now the opportunity to ask for the in-person meeting. And I've chatted about this before on the Origin podcast is this script that Sharon uses. Like, Tom, has anyone taken the time to walk you through the top 3 things you need to consider in order to win in the market when you are ready to sell or when you are ready to buy? Prospects always going to say no, because the vast majority of agents just are looking for the next paycheck, where, a lot of the clients that are really winning are looking to educate, and they don't care whether they're looking to buy in 6, 12, 18, 24 months. A lot of our top performing clients are just out there to educate, and it's karmic balance in the world. And the next thing you're going to say after that, and I've chatted about this before, I've went through this framework, is why don't we sit down for a cup of coffee, and before the coffee gets cold, on me, I'll walk you through the top 3 things you need to consider in order to win in the market when you are ready to buy, so that we can help you make an informed, intelligent decision. Would mornings or afternoons work better? And I had this conversation with Mo, and no word of a lie, his next 2 live transfers that he booked an in-person meeting, because he practiced intent listening. He asked better questions. He dug deeper, and he asked for the meeting. I hope you got a ton of value to this today. I hope you're able to take that framework. I hope you're able to book more in-person meetings for your real estate business. So thank you for tuning into another episode of the Arjun Podcast. We'll see you soon.